What is up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be walking you through this classic cool toned bridal makeup look. I love this. It's giving straight up Cinderella vibes. I feel so just glamorous with this look. I love this. So I walk you through it step by step, give you all my tips and tricks for the look today. We used the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I've been getting requests to use this as well because I think I've only done like one tutorial with this, but it's such a classic cool toned palette that's it literally walks you step by step through how to do this look with the shadows because they're titled the name of the steps. So it makes it very easy and simple. It's got everything you need. So I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to walk you through this step by step. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe and let's just jump right in. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my clips here. I'm just gonna clip the hair out of the face. So I prefer to begin with the face. You can do the eyes first if you feel like you get a lot of fallout. It really is just a preference. For me, I like to start with the face. I'm gonna begin with primer. This is one of my favorites. It's the Lawless Set the Stage primer. You wanna make sure that you're using something that you're familiar with, something that you love. Make sure you try it out ahead of time. And I will link other bridal tutorials right up here in the info card so you can check them out because I share tons and tons of tips and tricks. But yeah, make sure you practice enough time ahead of time so that you really feel comfortable and familiar with the products that you're using and the look that you're doing. I personally love this primer because it's very thin and lightweight. It's very hydrating because it is kind of like a skincare product too, but then it has like this sticky tackiness to it. So all of your makeup is just gonna glue right onto it and then your makeup's gonna last all day. So love this stuff. Then I would go in with a foundation that you can truly trust. And lately I have been loving this one. It's from Too Faced. It's the Born This Way Healthy Glow Moisturizing Skin Tint. I have the shade Light Beige. I've been really loving this, especially for summertime. I feel like it's very lightweight. It gives a nice amount of coverage, but it also is buildable if you want something more full. It lasts so nicely. I have normal to oily skin and it lasts beautifully. And then also if you have more dry skin, it's not gonna be too matte on you either. It's like matte with like a glow. It's really hard to describe. So I'm gonna put this on the back of my hand here. I like to work off the back of my hand because then I can control the amount of foundation I'm using as opposed to dotting it on the face. Also, when you do that, the makeup is going to oxidize on the skin because it's sitting there, and then when you go to like blend it in, it's not going to be as nice as if you were to like pick it up and work in increments like that. So I'm going to use my Brianna Fox 4 brush. This is in my Sigma brush set. I'm going to pick this up on the back of my hand like this and then start stippling it on the skin. I'm doing push drag motions. And this foundation really feels like velvet on the skin. It's so, so nice. It reminds me of Chanel foundation, honestly. Just so natural. I love this. Always work with less than you think because it's easier to build onto the skin and onto the eyes and just build up makeup than it is to take away. So always use a lighter hand and use less product than you think because you can always add more. I'm also bringing this down the neck. I would bring the makeup everywhere because you don't want like a disconnect unless you fade it really nicely, like with whatever's left over on the brush, fade it down. But like I'm probably gonna bring this all down here, maybe not as full coverage as on the face, but I want there to be like a cohesive shade and a cohesive finish. Even if you shade match yourself perfectly, the finish is still going to be different, especially like in photos and in the sunlight. So I would just bring it wherever your skin is showing within this range. You don't need to be like putting it down your arms and stuff, but like down the chest, I would totally do that. And if you have an updo, I would bring it around the back of your neck and even on like have someone like do like fade the back of it as well down to like your back, just so that there is no disconnect and everything blends really nicely. And for my concealer, I'm going in with one of my favorites. This is the True Skin Concealer from Catrice. I have the color Warm Beige number 20, and I'm gonna bring this underneath the eyes. I'm also gonna do one of these. And then I've got a couple of blemishes that I'm gonna cover up and a little around the nose. I have a dampened beauty blender here. I'm gonna blend this out with my beauty blender. Make sure that you, if you're going to use a sponge, fully soak this underneath the water and like squeeze the water throughout. Maybe do this for about a minute, maybe 30 seconds, but really get it drenched, and then squeeze out all of the excess water, and then dry it with a towel and squeeze off the excess water in a towel as well. And then your sponge will be ready to go. I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Cream Stick Contour and Bronzing Stick. This is in the color medium with a Smith 157 brush. I'm going to pick this up on the angled part of the brush. And I'm going in the angle of my ear to the edge of my mouth, and I'm staying above that line. So I'm going right on this cheekbone, staying back further towards my hair first, putting the majority of the product there, and then blending. And then I'm just kind of blending that forwards. Keep the majority of the product back. It'll look more natural that way. And then once you've got it stippled out, blend it a little bit forwards. Bringing up on the forehead. I'm going to do the jawline. Get behind the ear. And then I'm going to bring this around the lips, kind of like right on the lip line to give like a lip liner. And then I use my finger and just blend that out, and it kind of gives like a pre-plumpness to the lips. And then I just go over that with my foundation brush, or you could do your sponge. And then I'm going to bring this on the nose and use my finger to blend that out. Next, I'm going to go into the Encourage blush from Rare Beauty. This is a cream blush or liquid. This is so beautiful, and it's the perfect cool toned blush for brides. It's stunning. It comes out in a little wand like this, and again, you want to use way less than you think because it's so pigmented. So I'm going to go in with 2 dots. You can maybe even start with 1 because it is a little overwhelming. And my favorite brush for this is the Hollywood Complexion brush from Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm going to go in and do the 2 dots, and I'm keeping it pretty far back. Just like that. And then go in with my brush, and I'm just stippling. So I'm keeping it right here, focused in this area. Bringing it up onto the forehead. Grabbing my sponge, blending that out. It's very intimidating at first, but just be patient. It will blend out. Again, start small, maybe only do 1 dot, and then go from there. I'm not dragging it around, I'm just stippling the brush. So just doing little push drags. Bring it up on the forehead. A lot of people actually bring it over the nose. I'm not a fan of that look on myself. But if you want like a natural, I've been out in the sun kind of look, that can do that. And then you can bring it down your neck and chest as well when you've got the majority of the product off of the brush. I'm now going to go and set with powder. This is my like tried and true favorite powder of all time. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know what's coming. It's the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I love this stuff. They do have different shades. This one technically goes on clear, but I do feel like it has a brightening effect. What I'm going to do is pick up the powder straight from here in the container. Pick it up. And then that's a lot of product, so I'm going to take it in the cap and just dab off the excess or work that powder into the sponge so it's not like too loose. And I'm going to now press this into the skin wherever I need to set the makeup or where I'm going to get oily. So I'm going to set under the eyes to prevent any creasing. So I'm going to start there, go on the side of the nose where I get oily, bring it under the eyes, and I'm looking upwards so I can access that area. And then I'm going to take this wherever I get oily. So right in between the eyebrows, forehead, over my brows, my chin. Oh yeah, the chin. Just all up in here. And now we're all set. What I'm going to do now is take a brush and just dust it away. And now all that powder has set those areas. We're brightened, we're set, and now we don't have any excess powder on the face either. So I quickly just did a nose contour. I skipped that out because everyone's nose is different. I just use a little bit of the NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt on the sides of my nose. And now I'm gonna highlight. One of my favorite highlighters is this one from Pat McGrath. It's in the color Golden Moonlight. But to me, this goes a little bit more cool toned. It's still golden, which I think looks really natural on the skin, but it's not like extremely warm where it's gonna be like very like peachy warm, you know what I mean? So I'm using a Fox 5 brush and I'm gonna pick this up on the tip of it and pop this right on the cheekbones, keeping it again further back and then brushing it a little bit more forwards. I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful shade. And I love the finish too, it's not too overboard. And then I'm gonna use my finger, do the nose and the Cupid's bow. Grab the brush and blend those out. And then you can, it's a little frosty. I'm just grabbing my beauty blender just to kind of dot over that, and it'll kind of diffuse that just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go into the Morphe setting spray. This is my favorite setting spray. This will just kind of like put everything together and let it like just mesh. It's like the finishing touch. And then I like to do that before I do the eyes because then it can kind of just continue to set while you do the eye makeup. And then you can do it again at the end just as one last final touch. It's perfect. Okay, let's do the eyes. So for my eyebrows, I really love the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit. Everyone's brow shape and style and everything is going to be different. So do what works best for you. The shade that I have is shade number 3, which is my favorite. So I'm going to quickly just fill these in. Brows are done. I just set them really quickly with the Glossier Boy Brow Brow Gel. Love this stuff. So now the brows are done and now we can move on to eyeshadow, which is the best part of the look. So my favorite primer is the Painterly Paint Pot. You can easily go in with just some concealer and set it with powder, but I personally love this. They have so many different shades that gear towards your skin tone or towards the look that you're doing. They don't only have like a light beige. They've got warmer colors, darker colors, shimmery ones, whatever works best for you. So you can either use a brush or your finger. I go in with my finger when my nails are short like this, and I just press it into the skin on the lid, and I do the whole surface area. And this will make it so that the oils in your eyes don't come to the surface. They can't pass through this barrier, and that will prevent your eyeshadow from creasing throughout the day. This will also help once you put the powder on top of it. It's gonna lock it in place so that the surface area on your eyelid is very smooth and all of the eyeshadows are gonna go on much more seamlessly and smoothly and very cohesively, so that you're not gonna have like a wet spot, a dry spot, and they're gonna just blend out really nicely. So I'm gonna grab my brush and just set the area with just a little bit of powder. And that way we've got the nice smooth surface. So I've been getting so many requests to do a cool toned bridal look, and I thought that the perfect palette for this would be the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is the palette here. It's a gorgeous neutral to cool toned palette. Let me open this up so you can see. Tons of beautiful grays and neutral browns and some shimmers. I just thought this would be the perfect palette to use for a bridal look and for cool tones. Okay, so these are labeled as like where like to put them. That's a very easy way to do your eyeshadow. If you don't know where to start, how to go about it, you can easily follow the directions here. So you've got like blend, smoke, crease, transition shade, inner corner, outer lid. You can follow that if you want, but I'm just gonna bounce around today and play. So I'm gonna start with the color Crease, this shade here. I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush, really tap off the excess, and I'm gonna start in the outer lid area very lightly. I'm holding far back on the brush so I don't apply too much product, and I'm lightly gonna bring this into the crease. I'm wanting to do more of a winged out fox eye type of look today, so I'm not gonna focus too much in the crease, but I am gonna define it just a little bit. That way you've got like a nice little cool toned base. I'm also gonna take my mirror and bring it above my eyes, keep my chin down and look up into it. I'm lightly gonna come down below, just carry that color very lightly. We don't want too much of this, but that way we just have some definition and some cohesiveness with the colors. I want more of a winged out look, so what I'm gonna do is grab an eyeliner brush. This brush is actually technically a lip brush and it's discontinued, which sucks, but it's a very teeny tiny little eyeliner looking brush. You can use an angled eyeliner brush that would be perfect for this. I don't have any because I have this and this works great, but this is what I'll be using, and I'm basically gonna create an eyeliner shape with eyeshadow. This is very easy to do. Just take your time, and again, don't forget to practice, but this is a lot easier to do than if you went in with like say a regular eyeliner, because that is like one and done and it's on your eyes. This is easy to work a little bit at a time, build up the color as needed, work light to dark, do whatever you got to do. And if you need to take it off, it's so easy. It's so easy to take off and start over. So doing eyeshadow liner is just 10 times less intimidating. So I am gonna grab, I think I'm just gonna go in with lash line, this like espresso brown. It's like it's like a dark charcoal brown color, and maybe even a little bit of smoke, this color here, and mix those two together. And I'm gonna make a wing right at the corner of the eye following that lower lash line. Just make a line. And then check from far away and make sure they're going in the same directions. A good way to figure out what direction you need to go in is to line up the corner of your eye with the corner of your nose, and that should line up and be the same on each side. And that's how you can guarantee that they're gonna be even. I'm just gonna create a wing. Now I'm gonna focus on that smoke shade alone with the same brush, and I'm gonna go right at the edge of this liner and kind of just start smudging it, but I'm avoiding the tip part. I'm keeping it lower. Lightly kind of diffuse that edge, because what I'm wanting to do is kind of make this look like it disappears into the look, but it's gonna take a gradual it's going to be little by little, just a gradual effort to get to that point. And now I'm going to go into a Smith 233 brush, which is like a fluffier pencil brush. And I'm going to grab the color Blend, and I'm going to go right at that edge with the color Blend. Just kind of diffuse that edge, smoke that out a little bit. Don't be afraid to go over the liner, because you can always go back over that liner with the darkest color again, but just don't bring it down. So the areas you want to avoid are anything down here and anything over here. I'm also going to grab the color Crease and do the exact same thing, just to bring a little bit more coolness back into that. Here we go. Love this. That's definitely more gray. And then I'm just using my finger to kind of buff that out too. Okay, and now I'm going to grab Transition, which is this like very light gray color. I'm going right over all of that and doing the same thing with the angled. And this is gonna kind of brighten it up and really bring that cool toned color to the eyeshadow and really enforce the fact that this is a cool toned look, because those other shades are pretty neutral. You can also use this shade up in the crease here to blend this out up here. Okay, and now I'm just gonna re-emphasize with the lash line and smoke shades, just because some of that liner has disappeared. See how it's kind of like gone away with all of the other shades that we used? Now we can just reinforce that, re-intensify it as needed, make it a little bit darker and more smoky. I'm gonna take the color Inner Corner, this shade here, and pop it on the inner corner. Picking it up like this. This is a MAC 239. I'm just popping it right there. You know, I might follow this a little bit. I want to try brow bone on my brow bone, which some of these like directions you're gonna have to alter depending on your skin tone. If you're very, very fair, this is gonna be too dark. If you have more deepness in your skin, this is gonna be way too light. So just keep that in mind when recreating any look. This outer eyelid color here, this top one, and put it on kind of like right here on the outer lid, but not where like the wing part is. So I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna tap off the excess and spray this a little bit with the setting spray. And I'm gonna lightly pat this on the lid. This reminds me of Satin Taupe from MAC, but maybe a little bit darker. We are gonna do this center eyelid over here, this very like icy color. We're gonna flip over the other side of this brush. Work it in just like that. Tap off the excess. Bring this right on the center of the lid. Yes. I'm like, you don't have to follow what it says. And then I follow what the palette says. Oh, this is giving me Cinderella vibes. I'm gonna layer that center lid with this pinky color, this pinky center lid, just so this doesn't go so blue, because right now I'm feeling very blue. So I'm gonna pick up this one. It's more like pinky beige spray, and we're gonna layer that on top. Okay, I want to add some sparkle to this. I'm going to go into the Makeup by Mario Quartz Crystal Reflector, and just with my finger, I'm just going to tap on the lid. Just like so. You can see it here on my ring finger. It's just like this light color with like a little bit of glitter to it. A little bit of sparkle. Just kind of going in and doing some final touches. I'm grabbing a little bit of smoke and just adding a little bit more to blend everything together here on the outer part. I feel like once you've got the placement of everything and the look is really starting to come together, you can kind of see what you need more of, less of, and just kind of play with it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna grab just a touch of smoke mixed with blend. Do both of those together. And I'm gonna bring this on the lower lash line, so you wanna look upwards, put your chin down, and just connect this right on the outer part of that lower lash line, and stop about halfway, just to give a little bit of definition down here, but we don't want anything too crazy because I want the lid to be the focus. I'm gonna grab that inner corner highlighter color and kind of carry it down on the inner part of the lower lash line. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the nude liner from Rimmel. Put this in the waterline just to brighten up the eyes a little bit. If you want this more smoky, then go in with like a dark color. You could do a black, you could do a charcoal gray, you could do even like an espresso brown. That would help kind of warm it up a little bit, but it would still look really cool toned. I just felt like I needed a little bit of brightness. Do I like that? I actually don't know. I don't like that. Okay, hold on. Keep that on the inner part, but then on the outer part, I'm gonna do something darker. I'm gonna grab Teddy from MAC and put that on the outer waterline. And then kind of blend those two together. Home stretch. All right, we are gonna go into the Lash Paradise mascara from L'Oreal, and because I'm doing this more winged out look, I'm gonna focus this mainly on the outer part of the lashes instead of bringing it fully all around. Those will get touched with the mascara, like you want that to be coated, but that's about it. And now I'm gonna focus the majority of it on the outer part. See how it's kind of giving that like wingy flick? I hope you can tell, but it's mainly focused over here, and that's gonna help give that wingy illusion. For my lashes, especially for a look like this where it's doing that winged effect, the best lashes that you can do are either, if you do a full strip, you can cut them up into little pieces. You can do the individual ones, which to me, the individuals just take forever, but those look the most natural overall. Or you can find a happy medium and do something like this. These are from Velour. You can get any brand, but these are gonna look the most realistic. These are, they're like chunky individuals. So it's in little clumps of 3. So they're easier to apply than just the very tiny individual pieces. but they're also easier to apply than a full-blown strip lash too. I feel like this is like the perfect happy medium. And what the reason especially why I recommend these come in different packs like this, is because we're gonna manipulate the lash to, again, do that winged out effect. So I'm actually gonna be raising it up to go on the liner to really contribute to that. And then I can like taper it down. You'll see as we apply it. So I'm placing it in upwards. There we go. Okay, so the lashes are now on, and just for reference, I used 2 of the long ones, so 1 on each side. I used 2 of the middle ones on each side. I did 1 of the smallest one on each side, and then I split 1 more of the smallest ones in half to put on the very inner part, and that's what I used to create this lash look. I'm gonna grab the liner brush with a little bit of smoke on it just to go right at the lashes and kind of diffuse the line a little bit and kind of mask where we put the lashes. And you want to make sure that they're fully dried before you do this, because otherwise they'll wiggle around. And then I'm gonna grab the mascara. I'm gonna wipe off a lot of it here, and we're gonna do the same thing like we did on the top and only focus this mainly on the outer part of the lashes. So over here, I'm gonna lightly hit the, oh shit, I put way too much on there. That's okay. Get rid of the harshness a little bit. Oh, that kind of helped. For my lips, I'm gonna go into the Pat McGrath Contour Lip Pencil. This is a gorgeous lighter nude for my complexion. It goes neutral to cool, and they have other shades too if you want something a little bit different, but the formula is stunning and it lasts like all day long on my lips. So I'm gonna line my lips and overline them. And then I'm gonna go into this lipstick from Pat McGrath. It's like this light pinky color. I'm gonna apply this on the lips. And then for gloss, I'm gonna grab this Lawless lip gloss. It's called Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. This is gonna go on like a pinky clear color, just to give us a little bit of gloss. Okay, and now we can just take out the clips. Whew. Okay, so this is the final look. This is what it looks like up close. I straight up feel like Cinderella in this look. It's so classic and beautiful, still smoky. Remember, if you recreate this and you don't want something so smoky, you can totally tone this down. Just do less of what I did when it comes out to like smoking out the liner part. If you love this style, but it's a little too icy, there are colors in this palette that are more warm or more neutral, so just pick those instead. But this to me just gives such a glam, like bridal, Cinderella, almost prom, just like classic glam, cool toned vibe. I'm obsessed with this and I need somewhere to wear this to. I don't have any special events this summer. I feel like now that I'm 31, all of my friends and like everybody that I know is pretty much married, almost everyone. So it's like, I don't know of any like weddings to go to or special events, but like, again, like this is, I feel like such a classic bridal look, but even if you're in a wedding or attending a wedding, this would be stunning for that as well. So if you end up recreating this for your special day, please send me your pictures on Instagram. I would love to see your looks. And even if it's not this look exactly, if you pulled any inspiration, I would love to see how you incorporated that into your special day. Also, don't forget, I have a brush set with Sigma. You could create this look with only those brushes alone in that brush set. I had someone message me on Instagram and say that they bought my brush set for their wedding day, and it just, it made me feel so special that like I was included in that. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're doing your makeup and creating this. If you don't have any brushes or anything, that is a good place to start because it's got everything you need and it's only 5 brushes. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations on getting married. Let me know what other bridal looks you want to see from me, what other styles. I did see your comments. You guys want a rose look, so that's coming out soon. I will do a rose version, but that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you very soon. Bye.